everybody. I hope you have found a really good nonfiction book to read to complete this independent reading assignment. And I wanted to just review a couple of things with you as you get going. So you can pick any nonfiction book you want. And as you read, you need to think about these reader response prompts and then the one pager. So I wanted to kind of remind you what your answers for those reader response prompts should look like. So you only have to pick 3, and you have way more than 3 to pick from, as you can see. So make sure that you choose 3, and then I want you to follow the race strategy when it applies. So like, for example, if you find several interesting sentences and copying them down, and then you annotate them to show what makes them interesting to you, I'm looking for your observations about the author's craft and the writer choices that they made in those sections. So you would need to make sure that you followed the race strategy to answer that question. So if we take a look at the race strategy here, the first thing you need to do is restate the question. So make sure your first sentence is the question made into a statement. So for example, what you see here, what type of character traits does the main character exhibit? Good example of restating it. The main character exhibits traits such as, and you would keep going. Once you have restated the question, the next thing that you need to do is actually answer the question. So if we were to answer the character traits question from above, we would make a statement that the character exhibits traits such as friendly and kind. Okay, so if we flip back to our reader response prompts, that is where you would answer the question and you would write down those observations about the different choices that you found interesting that the author made. So this is where you would talk about the choices and what was interesting about them. After you answer the question, then you have to cite text evidence. Okay, this is where you go pull from the actual novel those particular sentences that you copied down. Okay, and that's where you put them in there. And you could start it off with some kind of a transition like the text states, or the author chose to do this, as you can see here, and you would put those sentences in. Once you have cited the text evidence, okay, you've put in those sentences, the last thing you need to do is explain how the evidence supports what you found interesting that the author chose to do. So you need to make sure you would explain how the choice that you found in those sentences that the author made in their writing style made it more interesting or unique to you. So don't forget to use the race strategy when you answer these prompts here. You only need to do 3 of these total, okay? So you should be spending about 20 minutes a day reading this week. Just keeping in mind, if you find a place where you think you can answer one of these questions, mark it with a sticky note so that you can go back to it later. Next week, once you've pretty much gotten lots of reading done, then you'll start to work on answering those questions and putting together this one pager that you see down here. But I just wanted to remind you of that race strategy, okay? Restate, answer, cite evidence, and explain. If you have any questions, if you need any help, all you have to do is post a comment on Google Classroom or email me, and I will be happy to get back to you.